Action. The realest, rawest podcast. Get ready, bitches. Talking with Vic starts now. Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to episode 5 of Talking with Vic. We're doing things a little bit differently for this episode. If you're listening, we're actually doing this through Zoom. I'm here with KingKiahh, who's in Indianapolis right now. You're the only person I know that lives in Indianapolis.
When you say that, I find it so funny. Because, I mean, I live in the boondocks, so. Mm-hmm. But Indianapolis is, like, popular, people say.
I mean, I guess is regionally popular because I don't know nobody from Indianapolis.
Goodbye, babe.
But KingKiahh, for anyone that doesn't know, is a beauty boy. He is describe yourself because, you know, I feel like when people describe me, they don't really get me right. So that's why I like for people to like introduce themselves.
Well, I am 22. Mm-hmm. I am a makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist for about like 6-7 years now. Mm-hmm. Just started posting my work about 2 years ago, but I'm also a singer. I'm a PK kid, preacher's kid, if you don't know what that means. My father's a pastor, mom's a minister. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's about it.
And when did you like start getting into beauty? Because in all honesty, for anyone that doesn't know, like we genuinely have like a friendship aside, but I feel like I haven't asked you these questions because I think that I'm always so sick of hearing about beauty all the time that I don't ask these questions. But when did you start like doing makeup and all that?
I started makeup in high school. I've always had really humongous eyebrows. So people used to bully me for that. I used to get bullied all the time. So I would literally have a razor, like a little razor from my mother's room, and do my eyebrows and really mess them up. Like, I'll send you pictures of it so you can, like, put it in here. But literally, my eyebrow would, like, start right here. The other one would start, like, right here. My eyebrows just look terrible. So, I would, you know, I've been doing my eyebrows for years. That's what I started with. I started with doing eyebrows. But did my eyebrows. Then one day, I was at the barber shop. And my barber, he is crazy because my barber, he has one arm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he has one arm. He has one arm, but he's very, very good at cutting hair. Mm-hmm. And so...
he had to prove himself.
He has like two... Yeah, he has 2 barbershops and everything, like very well known in Indianapolis. But one day I was at the shop getting my hair cut, and he literally put a gash accidentally in my eyebrow. And I had this humongous spot in my eyebrow. This was like my freshman year of high school. So... you know, we moved to Indiana, Franklin, Indiana, to be exact. And
isn't that where the Jacksons are from? Am I bugging?
No. The Jacksons are from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, okay. It was a name. I remember Gary. It was like a name.
That's closer to Chicago. But no. You know, Franklin is very heavily white populated. So the school, me and my sister, we were out of like 5 Black people in that whole school. So I didn't want to go there, you know, with the gash in my eyebrow. So I literally grabbed, I looked up a YouTube video on how to fill in my eyebrows. And the first person that popped up was Star Milan. And it's crazy because I was just like, oh my God, this guy, like, and mind you, at the time I knew I was into men, but I wasn't out.
And what year was
you know,
this?
My parents and stuff like this. 2017.
Oh, this is recent. Well, for me, because we have a 2-year age gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I'm 22. But, yeah, like, okay, so my mom's, I'll go into that deeper. My mom is my inspiration, but I looked up how to fill in eyebrows because eyebrows weren't really like a thing to fill them in. It's always been, you know, the super thin eyebrow, smoky eye, lashes, maybe.
Not even. I feel like it's a little bit of mascara, a little gloss.
Literally. So I saw Star Milan and I was just like, yo, oh my God, he's about to teach me how to fill in my eyebrows. But I didn't have any of the products. So I literally grabbed a pen, an ink pen, and filled in my brow from how he taught me. And ever since then, that pen did something magical inside. It just made me feel like a bad bitch.
I feel like
I just felt amazing.
And I feel like that's so many people's stories because my journey started with brows. So I had very big brows. And I think that as a teenager, I don't know what it is about. It's like a passage of like growing up because everyone always messes with their brows some way, somehow. So for me, I over tweezed and I would use the little razor that you be using. So then my mom and my sister would be like, yo, like you're bugging. Your brows are like non-existent. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the direction?
Yeah.
So,
because brows really transform your face.
Yes. So,
and that's what I felt. I love that transformation. I was just like, yo, like this is dope. Like, and it was just literally a big ass gap in my brow, but like that gap and the way I filled it in just made me feel like I looked different.
Because you start to think, okay, if this could fix this, what can this do, and what can that do?
Hello.
So that's how it started with me too. That's so funny. Even with Star Milan, because I feel like that's like the history of Black men in beauty. He's like definitely up there in terms of everybody knew him, because he was my
those
first
ombre
exposure.
Brows.
He was my first exposure, and he was a little bit ahead of his time too, because I think that he was not even just doing makeup. Like it was like that vlogging lifestyle. Like we kind of knew his life and stuff like that. But people don't be like bringing him up enough, I feel.
They don't. And it really irritates me when a lot of just people in the community don't give credit to where credit is due. When I hit 10K, when I first started posting my work, I wanted to shout him out. I was like, I've had a lot of people that inspired me, but he was, a man that looked like me.
Yes.
And he inspired me, made me feel more confident and more comfortable to do so, to even post online. And because when I tell you, like, to be honest, he was a trendsetter because no one was doing thick eyebrows like him. That thick eyebrows was not in. It was not in. It was thin eyebrows, but he had these big ass eyebrows, and it was just sickening. And it was revolutionary.
It was groundbreaking. Yes,
it was everything. And like with this full on beard, with these big old lips, these big eyebrows, I was just like,
and it's so funny now that you really have me sitting here. I don't want to take away anything from any other boy in beauty, but I feel like the industry, kind of would always put Manny MUA as like the first boy to have a beard and stuff, but I never even realized no, even before that I'm sure that it's been done period, but it was like Star Milan, like he was like my first introduction, and I think to a certain extent it made me feel comfortable to start wearing makeup because it was something that was a little bit more within my realm of, like I said, comfort.
Because mind you, I'm a singer, but I was in a lot of musicals in high school. So I would wear makeup and would feel so beautiful and, just felt more like myself. But outside of the musicals, I couldn't wear it. But when I started watching his videos and learned how to do my eyebrows and the concealing, I didn't know that was a thing. He taught me how to conceal my brows. I was just like, yo, like, this is like amazing. And I the confidence that he had in the way he presented himself, it was just inspiring. I was just like, wow.
I agree.
I want to be like that.
No, I
want to
agree.
be like that.
And it's crazy how far we've come in terms of like boys in beauty and stuff. We have a long way to go, especially with the Black boys, I feel.
Absolutely, because Kenneth was next.
Yes, it was Kenneth. He flawless at the time.
Yes.
But and I remember I used to watch Kenneth, and Kenneth was also somebody like that doesn't get the credit that I feel like he deserves. Because
they don't want to give them the credit.
He was ahead of his time too. I be doing my skits and stuff, but Kenneth was doing that like in 2015, 2016. Like he would have like whole storylines and concepts, and he would get into character, wear costumes. And
he's the king of keeping the audience attention.
Yes.
He knows how to keep an audience and get your and really have you focused and on what he's talking about. Like and even the stories and then his makeup, seeing another Black boy in makeup, I was just like,
but I think also
his confidence.
But I think also why I emphasize, because of course it was the makeup, but I emphasize everything because it's like you have these creative people who were not limiting themselves to just one thing
They
so
weren't.
far like behind, like not behind, but like
Yeah.
so like years ago. So I think that with me, it's like, it's crazy to see that we're kind of just starting to see these things spring up with other influencers, but we have literally Black male beauty boys that were doing this a long time ago. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And to be fair, like a lot of these, you know, bigger influencers that are out now, they were inspired by Kenneth and he Flawless at the time, but Kenneth and Star.
They sure were.
But, you know,
and I can vouch for that because I've had people, I've literally witnessed, because when me and Kenneth used to, for anyone that didn't know, me and Kenneth used to live together in LA. We moved to LA together. So I would literally witness people go up to him and be like, "Oh my God, girl, I'll be watching your videos." And it's like, that's nice to hear, but where's the public love?
Okay, because they be acting like
Yeah. No shade.
Yeah.
And oh my God. Because you already know this could open Pandora's box. Open Pandora's box, because it's almost like even when you speak about these experiences, you're already kind of labeled as like, oh, are you trying to start drama? And it's like, no, like we have to speak our history.
No, but also these are the facts. But a lot of people, they don't like to they just don't like the truth, especially in this community. I've learned people don't like the truth. They don't like the facts. They like to live in the fantasy of social media. Like they allow the numbers and everything to outshine, you know, what actually, you know, is, you know, what it is. You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
Which is ghetto.
It's very much so.
It's very ghetto. It's very ghetto.
And I feel like what you can get away with when there's like levels to it. It's like who can get away with everything, who can get away with some of it, and who just can't get away with nothing, even if they're not doing anything. And I feel like we've always been in this tier. And even with everything that we've experienced last year with Black Lives Matter and all of that, you know me. We've had so many conversations in private where, you know, I've been able to express myself in a way where I feel like maybe if I expressed it publicly, and you know, I'm all about transparency and just being, but like, I've also learned that sometimes people just aren't ready for everything. And I think that's...
Not everyone is ready to see what it is. You know, not everybody can, you know, see that. And that's what my parents have taught me. Not everyone is going to see, even like when it comes to goals and shit like that, not everybody is going to see what you want to do, or, you know, the vision that you have for your life. Not everybody's going to see it. It's the same thing. So
you growing up in the church, how did your parents feel about you getting into makeup or even being gay, etc.?
Oh, girl, it was hard. It was extremely hard. Yikes. I think because, and I hate to say it, because people always say it about preachers' kids, about how we're sneaky. And
y'all are.
No, with the relationship that I have with my parents now, they know everything. But back in the day, I had to hide a lot of it. You know, there were some days they, you know, would question me about it, and we would have these, we call it the Johnson family meetings downstairs in the living room. And, you know, they'd be crying. Mom would say, you want to be a drag queen? Are you bisexual? What are you? Yada, yada. It was a lot. But in terms of me getting into makeup, they didn't really see it until I left the house. Because I just didn't. And mind you, let me take that back. My junior year to senior year, I started doing my eyebrows fully, like have the full on filled in eyebrow with light ass concealer, looking a hot ass mess. And I used to do my lash extensions.
Oh, you were ahead of your time, because that wasn't a thing at the time.
Baby, when I tell you, you could not clock my lash extensions. And mind you, my lashes were already super long, but I wanted them to... I love the cat eye effect. And I used to do that on my eyes all the time, and I used to feel so pussy. But baby, when I tell you, they would see that, and for a long time, me and my father didn't really talk. It was just, you know, me and my mother. And, you know, obviously that would eat me alive. But my father was embarrassed, to be around me with other people because of how I presented myself. So when I moved an hour away, so I moved to Bloomington, Indiana.
Now me getting emotional.
Oh, don't. When I moved to
I'm such
Bloomington,
a crybaby.
it's me too. But you know this, but I'm not about to cry with you. So, because I beat my face for you. You hear me? But okay, the face has to stay on. But once I moved to Bloomington to go to college, that was my time to fully be myself and express it. Because I literally, when I tell you, like, my mother used to work for Longcom, and it's so funny that I'm even talking about this because it's like all these memories.
You're unlocking
back,
memories, and I feel like everybody that's been on,
and now I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
But my mother used to work for Longcom, and I would sneak her makeup because she would come back home with a bunch of makeup. So I would go in her closet and take a bunch of her makeup and go practice downstairs in my room with the door locked in my closet because I had a walk-in closet. And I would go in my closet and practice my makeup and do my makeup with the door closed and locked and shit like that. Sometimes they would try to, come in, but I'd be like, no, don't come in. I'm studying, da-da-da. But mind you, I was doing makeup the whole time. So all that practice I had in high school, I did it out in public in college. One of my friends, I call her twin, she was like, why don't you wear foundation in public? I was just like, I always had the excuse of my family and my parents because my family, I have a humongous family full of bishops, pastors, ministers, evangelists, like all of that. My family is the church. So it was extremely hard. You have to have guts and confidence to do that. And at the time I didn't have confidence, but once I moved out, I gained that confidence and, got that foundation. I bought my first foundation because I used to wear the Fit Me back in the day, but I upgraded to the Clinique foundation and it would grow. You couldn't clock my skin. It was very skin-like. It was very natural. And, I was, at this time I was a pro at eyebrows, but they were still thick as fuck. But, I would, wear the foundation. And ever since then,
that was the time.
Hello? I just felt so cunt with all the highlighter on my face. I just, it did something to me, but I'm glad I had those moments. And now I'm, grateful and glad to say that I do have a relationship with my parents because once they realized that, okay, this is who my son is and he's not going to change. Because there was one time, I think it was my sophomore year of college. I posted on Facebook, I said, for y'all wondering, because I went off. I was like, a lot of y'all nosy people, yes, I'm gay and yes, I wear makeup. It does not mean that I'm this or that, da 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 da. I just went off. And my father and mother was like, we will always be here for you, son. We're your number one. We'll always be your number one fans. And baby, when I tell you, when I saw that, it was over. I start posting on Instagram. I start, doing because I felt free. After that post, I felt free and I felt like I could just express myself however I wanted. Of course, I will always be respectful of my parents and stuff like that. But I was like, yo, it's my time to, because so many people in my family and just people that I know in general, they live closeted lives. I didn't want to be like that. And I wasn't. So I had to just get myself in check. I'm always checking somebody else. Get your own self in check. That's a lot of people, a lot of motherfuckers, they like to check people, but can you keep yourself in check while you're checking others? So I had to put myself in check and say, Hezekiah, get your shit together. Do it. This is something that you want to do. You're passionate about it. Go for it. And I did.
Yeah.
Because of Corona, I moved back with my parents and, I'm full on this now. And my father, he was like, son, I really want to have a live conversation about me and yours relationship publicly on live. And he said, I want to call it Let Love Lead. And ever since then, my dad, that first episode, my father expressed himself and was like, everyone, and I have my face on. I was like, everyone. He was like, everyone, this is my son. I love my son. I may not agree with the things that he does, but I accept him. And that was always important to me. I still wanted my parents' love. I don't care if you don't, is you not here for this? Although they always say I look good, but they're not here for me dating men. I get that. But as long as the love is still there, as long as you guys still respect me, because it's all about respect. Mm-hmm. As long as you respect me and love me and care for me as your son, because I'm still your son, just a fabulous one. Period. We good. And ever since then, me and my parents' relationship, I've always been a mama's boy, but me and my father, we have grown tremendously. Like, we bond over business because I'm an entrepreneur. So we bond over business. Mm-hmm. And he's been teaching me so much about that. And I can see that he believes in this whole beauty thing now. He sees, how it's changed my life and how it's brought in this. Because, parents don't really believe in it until they see this.
Yes.
So
I agree. And my mom will be seeing this and she'll know exactly what we're talking
Hello. Hi, Mom. How are you? But no, she, my parents, I was like, okay, son, I see. So you really serious about this? Because I didn't finish college because I was not happy.
Same.
I was not happy. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take a leap of faith, do this, and stick to it. And I did. And, my parents, they are my number one fans, of course. And, it's a Johnson family, thing. We will always be, like this.
I could totally relate to your story. And I think that that's something that we've always bonded in our conversations is about spirituality. I think that, growing up, talking, I'm not going to do the baby cry because you've seen me do the baby cry. But I think it just reminds me of being a kid. And I don't know why I was born to be the type of person that I'm going to live my life. You know what I mean? Right. To the point where it's like I knew that I was gay when I was a child. But I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Have I ever told you that?
No!
We've never spoken about that?
Vic, we've had so many conversations about spirituality, God, and you've never told me.
Yeah, I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Like, I used to preaching and everything. So, I never experienced anything within my, like, being Jehovah's Witness that made me feel like there was anything that was going to be hateful or, right. Anything along those lines. But I was already fully prepared to deal with those consequences. And I remember when I would be like 6, 7 years old, and I would always be like, oh my God, like, what is it gonna be like when I come out? Thinking things like this at like 6, 7 years old. And I was always fully prepared with the reality of possibly not having a relationship with my parents, because at the time that, like, we've come such a long way from when we were children.
But yeah, we always prepare for that. You have to.
And I think that we don't talk about those things enough. And I think that that's why there's always so much confusion as a parent with having a gay child, is because you don't have any references of someone who's grown up talking about what they were experiencing younger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness and literally knocking on doors and like preaching and all of that.
Girl, you get me emotional, child.
I remember, I will always think this, and then I remember I got this text message from my dad. It was like randomly, I was like 14, freshman year of high school. And he was like, we need to talk. And I knew exactly what he wanted to talk about. And
girl.
So I went to the house. Okay. So I went to the house. I feel like, you know what this reminds me of? In the reel when Tamara.
Y'all, this mean that he's like the mean queen. Okay, like, he remembers every like moment of something and he refers back to it.
No, I have like an inventory.
I love
like
it.
Like an archive.
You do.
I remember Yikes. I look crazy right now.
No, you don't. You're beautiful.
So I went to the apartment. And the thing why this was so confusing to me was my parents were already not together. So he didn't live with us. So the fact that he was like, come to the house, I was like,
oh shit.
So I went and he tells me, he's like, somebody called me. Somebody's mom that went to your school. To this day, I don't know. I have my suspicions of who, but I'm like, whatever.
I would love to know.
And told me that you have a boyfriend. And he was like, is this true? So I was just like, I just started crying. So I just started crying, and I
because when your parents confront you, all you can do is cry because you're just like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, it's like this. It's almost like this weight to that's like, you know what I mean. So I remember saying yes, and he was very, very supportive. Shockingly, I think for me, and I think I'm getting emotional because like I know my mom is gonna watch this because she watches everything. And I don't want to like hurt her feelings because I've never told her this, but I just always expected her to be like the more supportive one at first. Yeah. Because we were closer. So, but I think she was more invested in her, faith. So I think that for her it was a little bit more, because I remember her just kind of sitting there and kind of being a little bit more cold. So honestly, I think that's when me and my dad's relationship kind of switched. And not that we became closer, because I've always been closer to my mom, but it was kind of like a wow, like this was like a moment, like it kind of needed to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how I always relate to your stories of like you being in the faith and stuff, because I think that for the both of us, it has created the people that we are. And I think that growing up in faith, there's very positive things. I think I gained my people skills and being able to do publicly speak and stuff like that from that, being on stage, do it, know. So I always take those things and I'm grateful because it molded me. But then at the same time, it's like you always have like this little secret inside of you that like you're just always thinking about it. And you're just like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen and what's this and what's that. And eventually, of course, they came around.
It's extremely, extremely scary. Like when I have conversations with my father, when we're on live about this stuff, I tell, these parents, I'm like, yo, if you feel like your child is gay, just shower them with love and make sure that they know that you're always going to be here for them. Because there's been like the suicide rate just with this shit is like at its highest. I'm not going to say the numbers because I don't want to be wrong, but I just know for a fact, like the suicidal rates are so high right now because these kids are afraid of either their parents' reactions or if they'll be kicked out or not. It's like super fucking scary. So just regardless, and if you're a parent watching this right now and you're a fan of Vic and you, or, coming from the kingdom and you feel like your child is a part of, our community, just shower them with love. Don't pressure them into anything. Just make them feel comfortable. It needs to be a safe space, especially if you want to talk about stuff like this. Because I know for me and Vic, our parents, they confronted us, and it was just like, "Yo, is this true?" And then you get to start crying, and you just like, I don't know what to say, but all I can do is cry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that shit is difficult. It's extremely hard, and not many people. Times are getting better. Mm-hmm. Times are getting better. These kids,
I think we're growing up. We're growing up in a weird transitionary like phase. Yes. I feel like because we kind of were born in a time where it was like super taboo, and then not as taboo as it was. Like we're like in that middle point. So for me, it's like I'm grateful for that, but I think we definitely need to speak on our stories because. Especially positive stories where, because I didn't have the experience where I got kicked out and where I was disowned and stuff.
Me either, which I'm blessed and, grateful for, thank God. But I have friends that have, and, that that's, that's scary.
It's a reality. Scary. Exactly. And I think also if I would have heard more positive stories, I don't think I would be as scared, because I think that's why I will always mentally prepare myself for the reality of possibly being disowned, possibly not having a relationship.
Even with that, because, in that space, you get defensive. You feel like everyone is coming for you, or everyone is trying to out you about something because you're just so fucking paranoid.
Mm-hmm. And I think, it's crazy that you're saying that, because a lot of people tell me that out here, where they are always like, why do you always feel like someone's coming for you and someone's this and someone's that? And I think that, to be completely honest, to me, that confuses me when people say that, because I think that the moment that my parents accepted me, that was the moment I didn't care about anything.
Yeah, same.
That was the turning point.
Once you have your parents' support, I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. I don't care. I got my parents' support. They already know. So I'm good. So, oh, girl.
Those are the people at the end of the day that they're going to be there for you. You know what I mean? If you have, because some people, that's not the reality, and we have to acknowledge that as well. But if you do have that, that's like unconditional. You know what I mean? Because even with the stupid stuff I've done, I'm like, oh my God, like the things that they've had to deal with me, the ups and downs. Like I remember not too long after, I would say, I guess 2 to 3 years, which in teenage years, that's a lot, but then that's also like a little bit all at the same time. But with my mom, just kind of dealing with, I guess, me being gay and having that confirmation, she had to deal with like me having a boyfriend and then me breaking up. And then, your first breakup is like the most dramatic thing in the whole, like I felt like my world was crumbling down. And
I was so fucking depressed and sad because your mother knew. My mother and, father, like they didn't know anything. Like when I had my first boyfriend, I kept it a secret. So when my first boyfriend cheated on me 5 times, so I couldn't, I could not express myself to my family. So I would just be stuck in my room crying my ass off, and they'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to hear their shit, hear their bullshit. So, man, that you got me. I'm really holding back my tears and trying not to fuck up my makeup.
This is the first time I've cried.
You're really taking me there, Vic.
Well, I think also is you unlock so many memories, and I think that's why it's so important to talk to people who might have similar experiences, because it could honestly bring us to the fact of being a Black boy, especially with being gay, and then being within the space of beauty. A lot of us don't talk to each other because we have been conditioned to, I feel like, look down on ourselves. So it's almost like this deep psychological thing that is embedded within all of us. None of us are excluded from this, where we already have those kind of that internal struggle, and then we take it out on people who look like us, and then we don't talk to each other and we don't support each other. And it's always like we kind of hold ourselves to a double standard. And again, this goes to like this, like, it's levels to this shit. It's like levels to, how we treat one another. Because having a Black experience already is difficult, especially in today's world, but like even in little niches, and it's almost like hard to talk about this because then you don't want to seem like you're taking away from things that might be a little bit more important, because not everyone can relate to, oh, you guys are beefing in the beauty community, like who cares, you know what I mean? But I think when you talk about things like that, you get into the psychological root of it all, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to get into like with your experience, especially with you growing, you just hit 100K. So congrats for that, because that's always amazing to see someone that looks like me.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
Well, because you're reflecting and you're seeing how far you've come, you know what I mean? But what have been some of your experiences already within the beauty community? I know you don't live in LA, But I remember what it was like to be in New York and be excited, but then also have like these moments of like, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to hear your perspective because so many people can relate to you. So many people want to come here, and you're in the process of coming here.
So, oh God, I'm getting emotional. My experience, it's like a 60-40. It's been great. I've been able to, grow fast and yada yada. Me growing fast, I didn't know that was like a huge thing for a Black boy. I just thought that's, what I was supposed to do. But it's been good. But I've definitely, in the 2 years I've been in this, this space, I've been dealing with a bunch of just bullshit that I didn't think or imagine that I would deal with. Because there's not that many Black boys that, have numbers, period. And so with being one technically that has those numbers, people put you in this category and they shoot darts at you. And me being a person that, because like when I first joined, came into the community, I got a lot of attention quickly and, people started to notice. And then I just wanted to be friends with everyone because I didn't have gay friends. I didn't have boys that looked like me. Like everywhere I was the only one of me. Like there was only one. Like they'll be like, oh, that gay boy that wearing makeup. That gay boy that's a little bit more feminine. That's Hezekiah. That's him. So to see that on social media and see all these, beautiful Black boys and just people in general that are doing this, I was just like, oh my God, like this is sickening. Like, bitch, like I was so here for it. So I wanted to be everyone's friend and people wanted to be my friend. And soon realized that not trying to downplay all the people that have, wanted to be my friend, but a lot of people, I don't know how to explain this. A lot of people saw where I was going and was willing to take all the precautions and just was willing to do anything and everything to push me down and beat me down because of how fast I was going. And me being a person that is always like, nah, they can't be like that. He's not like that. She's not like that. They're a nice person. They've been nice to me. Me being just, I call it stupid. Me just being flat out stupid. Like, bitch, like these motherfuckers just use you. You just stupid. You too damn nice. All my friends, even in the community, they'd be like, yeah, you even told me you're too nice. You're too nice. And there was a moment where I did not know I was too nice. I was just being me. I have a big heart. That's just how I am. I see people, like when I meet somebody, they're innocent to me. Cause I ain't.
You're an innocent until proven guilty type of person. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so,
and even then though, from knowing you, even when they're proven guilty, you still have a space in your heart, which is a beautiful thing, but sometimes it doesn't protect you from kind of what comes from that.
And I'm getting emotional because I'm at a place now where I'm so happy. And I was just on my live cried about this because in these 2 years, I've gone through so much mental shit that I've like past the whole gay shit. I've gone through so much mental shit and people fucking with me. Like I've gone through so fucking much. I thought I was a confident person. I thought I was a strong person, but being in this community made me stronger because of the bullshit I went through. Now, I'm not saying that it's all about drama and yada yada. It's been great. I've been blessed so much. Like I'm blessed with all the stuff that I have and done, but that comes with a consequence, damn near. That comes with, okay, you got to go through this shit too. And I hate to be like that, but it's the honest God truth. People that I thought were going to be with me to the end, they're not here because they saw where I was going and they were threatened about that.
And I think, especially when you're a Black boy and you're kind of doing things that have not been done before, it's a very foreign concept for a lot of people for a Black boy to grow fast. And because even for me, it's been a very long journey. But what I can kind of equate it to is I would get the campaigns early on. And I felt as though because I got the campaigns, everyone was always like, oh, he'll be fine. He's good. I don't need to.
And let me just say this, y'all. My first time seeing Vic was the Make Up Forever campaign. I was so fucking gagged because I've never seen a Black boy on a fucking makeup campaign, period. I was just like, who is this guy? And then I found you on Instagram. I was just instantly obsessed. Like, you saw the video that I sent you? Like, wait, the Dicks one, I was like, yes, bitch. And we didn't even know each other, but I was just so here for it because I was just like, this isn't normal. This isn't a thing, you know? And you were breaking boundaries. And I want to thank you for, you know, really breaking those fucking boundaries for us Black boys. Honestly. Because, you know, and I'm not about to get too much into it, but like, you've done a lot. And I want to thank you, and I appreciate you for doing the things that you do. Seriously.
No, you're so sweet. Thank you. But I've always felt as though like I was saying earlier, this double standard. There's this double standard because, you know, you would have like the James Charleses and the Manny MUAs and all of them. They were doing campaigns. They were doing this. They were doing that. So what made me different? Because we had the same skin color or a skin color that is similar, you can't support me, or it's like it's this brainwashing. I'm telling you, it's brainwashing. It's this crabs in a bucket mentality, and it baffles me. It literally baffles me. Because I would literally be like, what am I doing that's different other than me being darker than the other people that are doing it?
And when
why is it a problem when it's me?
I would be so confused because people were like, Hezekiah, they hating on you because you doing this. I'm like, they can do it too. Like, you can do it too. Like, when I worked my ass off and still is. But like, bro, like, you got to put in the work. You got to put in work. A lot of people expect things to be handed to them. They want handouts because they're Black, because we don't get opportunities like others. They expect it to be handed to us. No. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, the people that aren't Black don't get it easier, but they still work for it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to work, but we just got to work a little bit harder.
It's
and that's okay.
Line.
With knowing it, it's okay. Yeah.
It's a fine line because it's like having this prior knowledge of how it's a little bit more difficult and how, you know, we don't get the same opportunities all the time. You almost have this responsibility, and I was saying this to Shalom last week, you have a responsibility to like protect your people, but then you are being bashed the most by people who look like you. And I think with everything, I think all the conversations we've had that's been brought to the public's conscious is great. I think that we should be holding people accountable. But I think that just as equally as we are holding others accountable for, you know, how unfair our experience might be compared to everyone else's, we have to hold ourselves accountable. Because I would be like, okay, if you're going to hate on me or if you're not going to be a fan of me because of the opportunities, why do I see you on James Charles's comments being like, yes, queen, amazing, inspiration, da 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 da, and it's like, what's the difference? Because I'm Black, you know what I mean? Like that, and people need to, and I hope that people that are watching this are really like reflecting. I've done it too. I've held people to a double standard. I've held people that look like me to a double standard. That's why I'm saying it from a place of experience and not just everybody else has done this to me, because you can't be a victim either. We're all subjected to this sort of kind of behavior. You know what I mean? So, and we've had conversations where even when we would get on phone calls, when it would be me, Kenneth, and you, where Kenneth and I would express to you, like, why are we continuing to make the mistakes that we made together in the past? You know what I mean? Like, the difference between when we came to LA in 2017, Cameron, Kenneth, Zachary, you know, that kind of era,
that group,
to y'all, is that y'all have kind of this blueprint of what not to do.
Baby, okay? Because when I tell y'all, let me tell y'all something. Kenneth Senegal and Vic have told me so much and taught me so much and have given me so much insider on shit. I'm just like, oh, shit. Okay. I would write this in my notes and I would just take mental notes. You can ask them. I'd be like, okay. Nope. Yep. Nope. And I'm not, and mind you, it's a natural thing. It's not no like, oh, I'm just talking to them to, you know the tea about stuff.
We barely talk about that stuff, to be honest. Like, when you really put it into perspective.
Right. So like when you guys do drop these gems, I'm just like, oh wow. And then but then it's so crazy because when y'all when you guys drop these gems, I see someone else make that mistake and I'm just like, well, damn. And then I see how it affects them. I was like,
and that's so true. And I see it all the time. And one thing I've noticed is just to sit here and eat my food, because sometimes when you try to tell people things,
too much food,
they might think that you're attacking. Some people feel attacked, and some people feel like your motive for giving this advice is to kind of stray them from the right path. And, you know, that's never been my intention. And in all honesty, I might say things a little bit rough around the edges, but it's because I'm so passionate about people not making the mistakes that I make.
People in this community. You hear me? You're one of the realest people in this community. I just want people to know that. Y'all, the person that Vic, portrayed, like, just acts like online, he's just the same way on the phone. Like, we haven't met in person yet. We will be soon.
Which is crazy.
But I know. We've gotten so freaking close, y'all, but have not met yet. But we will soon. But still, like, seeing it happen, and I'm just, just looking, just like, oh, okay, well. Okay, cool.
Yeah, note it.
I'm not gonna do that. Note it. Literally.
Note it, yeah. And I think that is so, like, regardless, what people don't understand is what's meant for you is meant for you. So even in our case where you have surpassed me in followers, that doesn't mean that because you've reached that level that it's taking anything away from me. You know what I mean?
She's naive from you. And I always say this example when people bring that up, because I always preach it on my live about this. What is for you is for you. So there was the Pride Neutrogena campaign. Everybody and a mama, I've seen a whole bunch of Black boys post it too, but everybody and a mama was a part of that campaign and, got paid for it. And that's just like, that's a prime example of we can all eat. We can all make it in this, industry. So why is there so much just tension and animosity? You know what I mean?
It's a lack of trust, I feel like. I think that just within our communities outside of beauty, there's always kind of this lack of trust because of what we've been fed. Like, it's literally what society is feeding into our brains. And that's why I always say this, like, you're probably going to hear me say this in every episode whenever we talk about these things. It's a deeper psychology. And once you start to figure out, it's like you're just mind blown. And it's become my responsibility to speak out on this. And that's really why I've started these platforms where people can talk about this, and you're not saying it to somebody who does not care, because people might have a good intention in speaking to you about, Black Lives Matter and your rights and this and that. But
you see, they silent about it now.
Exactly. And no shade, but as soon as they turn off that camera and they're on their way back home, they're not even thinking about that. They can't relate. They don't care. They don't care.
Girl.
And in all honesty,
Girl.
My thing has always been, I don't care if you care. Just don't. That's dead weight if you're being performative. Don't be dead weight on my shit, because my shit is serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you don't care, you don't have to care. Do you? You know what I mean? But don't add to the dead weight of shit that is serious, because this is serious, and this is something that you've even seen even last week when I called you. The repercussions that I've had to deal with when it's a mixture, because the thing is, I'm always able to take accountability. When I first got into this industry, could I work on
Not many people are. That's what I respect about you. It's this pride that people have. They just don't want to take accountability for shit.
It's ego.
It's so much ego. So I'm willing. It might take me 1 or 2 business days, but I'm still going to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah,
because I'm still going to do it, because it's just you have to. It's the right thing to do. It's a part of being an adult. But I'm sorry, you can continue.
And also, at the end of the day, like, whether the person receives it or not, like that, whenever you tell the truth, whenever you take accountability, it's a weight lifted off of your shoulders.
Your shoulder. Like, who wants that on them?
I pity people who don't have that skill. It makes me feel really bad. Like, in all honesty, even going back into what I was saying with the phone call from last week, you literally saw me burst out into tears. Like, you saw me do the ugly cry, because
the ugly cry, y'all.
It was an ugly cry for like a solid 20 minutes.
I'm gonna give y'all my ugly cry. Beyonce, what she did the concert. I'm trying to be like you and have a moment, but you ain't laugh at it like that. But I'm letting it go.
Me slap her. But it's the passive aggression. But I feel like I've reached a point that I've been able to take accountability for how I behaved in the beginning, which could I work on my attitude? Yes, I had a crazy attitude. I was confrontational at times when I didn't have to be confrontational, etc. But being Black in this industry, it doesn't matter that those events were 2-3 years ago. I've obviously kind of gotten into a new space in my life. I literally lose opportunities to this day because of things that I've done 3 or 4 years ago. So that's why I even
can literally do the most fucked up shit and still get away with it.
Last week.
It'd be done in a month.
Yes, exactly. Girl. But that's why for me, I've always felt a responsibility to kind of give advice, whether it's solicited or not, and whether you're going to receive it or not, because I don't want people to make the same mistakes as me.
Right.
And to me, that's why it's so important to have these conversations with each other, because then it's like, 1, you know not to do it. And then 2, other people are going to hear this and things start to click for a lot of people. I've learned that, especially with doing this podcast, so many people have reached out to me with things that are like, wow, that makes so much sense now. Oh, wow, this adds up now. You know what I mean? Because I was either expressing myself in a way where it was just very volatile, and it was either that or nothing. And people don't receive messages like that, especially when you're Black, because you could literally be stating your opinion and you're aggressive.
Girl, I've been through it in high school, girl.
No,
anything I said, it was a celebrity news, bitch, on the front page of the cover.
I didn't. This is the line. I didn't mean it like that, or like, you know what I mean?
Get
like,
get on my face.
No, and it's crazy. So for me, it's like, I don't necessarily think anyone should behave themselves in a way for other people, but also like, I just don't want people to make the same mistakes as me. You know what I mean? So I think that's why we've been able to create this bond, because 1, you're experiencing something that I've experienced a couple years ago, because I was coming into LA and getting into this industry or whatever. But also, you're someone that can receive constructive criticism, and that's so
I love it. It's so beautiful. I always talk about Vanessa, but she's one of my mentors, and she'll literally just put me in check and be like, yo, this, nah, this, okay, good job. You know, it's and I asked for that. Even with you, I'm just like, so what you think about this? What about this? Should I be how should I be da 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 da? You'd be like, yeah, you're ODing. You're doing too much. Relax, Kiahh. Relax.
I'll be like,
because I'm always
literally, you'll call me frantic and I'll be like, what happened? What's the drama today? Like, what's going on?
It's literally the truth. He'll be like, Kiahh.
I'll be like, calm down.
It's okay.
This is how
because like he know I'll be messing with nobody or doing nothing. Like I'm literally so cautious about stuff. So I be in my head, but that's slowly but surely has changed. But just in general, bitch, I forgot what I was about to say again. That is so ghetto. I have so much stuff in my head that I want to say. Wait, what were we talking about?
Just pretty much. Not me forgetting.
Constructive criticism. It's so important. Yeah. It's extremely important because I really care about this, what this community and the stuff that I do. I put pride in this. So with me wanting to be the best I can be, I'm not saying I want to be perfect because I'm never going to be perfect, but to know, just different sides of the spectrum when it comes to myself from others' views. I would love to know, like, read me, bitch, because I'm a reader, so read me. I would love to know, like, because it'll open my eyes to something else and be like, oh, okay, I see. Okay, maybe okay, I got it. It just makes you a better person in general. Mm-hmm. So, and that's all, and it's all about self-growth. I've grown so much tremendously. I've matured so much, and I know you can see that I've matured so much, and it's been a beautiful thing. But I wouldn't be able to mature as well as I have if it wasn't for that constructive criticism.
And that's everybody.
So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Even if you don't want to receive it, it's gonna grow. You're gonna fucking grow the fuck up. You're going to, because it's gonna be in the back of your head and be like, okay, maybe I should. Okay, Kiahh. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I completely agree. So now, you're planning on moving to LA, so you'll finally be joining all the stuff that's going on out here, and I'm super excited to see another face that's like a little more relatable to me around here.
I'm so excited and nervous.
What are your plans? What are your goals? Like, what do you see for yourself once you're here?
I just see myself growing more. I always say we have our life books, and in those chapters, some things have to close. I look at this time with my family while I'm here. Not our last moments together, of course, because I'll always be here, but our last moment as me just being this person. It's time for me to grow. It's time to close this chapter and just really grow and learn more about myself. Because, you always learn more about yourself when you move somewhere, period. Because, I was an hour away and I learned so much about myself. So I'm ready to grow and learn more about myself. I want to just show the community also that we don't need no handouts. We can work hard to get to where we at and get to what we want and just where we want to be. I'm an entrepreneur, so of course I want to further that as well. But I just want to grow. It's about, like, I just really want to grow and experience life more, because I feel like I'm also a person. People be thinking because if you on my lives, I be talking crazy, but I'm such a I wouldn't say closeted, but I'm such a homebody. There we go. I'm such a homebody. I'm always to myself. I be on the phone, but I'm always to myself. So I'm just ready to explore the world. I feel like I haven't lived life yet, if that makes any sense. Because I've always been either close to my family or with my family. So I'm just ready to live life.
Yeah, I think with the advice I could give you, moving to the other side of the country is something that, like, if you haven't done it, you're not gonna know until it happens. But I went through this phase. I think the first 3 weeks I was like, what? like going crazy. Like I don't even want to talk about it because my mom be watching this, so I'm not even gonna talk about it. And then you go through this phase where I went through the like I miss you phase. You know what I mean? And
right. And I'm already. That's gonna be the first day for me. No shade.
and then one day you kind of just
I'm a family guy.
you kind of just start to like it becomes normal life, and you know, even for me, like I be missing my family, but you process it, and now I can't believe I've almost been here for 4 years at this point, and that's crazy. No, and
that's crazy.
My advice is just, you know, stay true to yourself because here, like, I'm telling you, the devil is alive in Los Angeles. And so many people are going to try to pull you into darkness, you know what I mean? Into things that just don't feel right. And you're going to meet people that you think are so sweet and so nice. And those are, I always say, those are the ones to watch out for.
Exactly.
So it's just stay true to yourself. I think because you have such a strong connection to your family, it's going to be a little bit easier for you.
Really?
Yeah, I think when you have a strong foundation with your family, it's easier to stay true to yourself because as long as you have those people, as long as you know that they got you, like the validation of others becomes less important. So for me, I think that's always been kind of my security. But good. I also, another piece of advice is just come here also with an open mind. Be cautious, but come with an open mind because I didn't come here with that. And I think that I lost out on a lot of good moments and good people because not everyone is evil. You know, I'll be talking mad shit about LA, but not everyone's bad here. And I became an adult here. So this place is always going to have a special place in my heart. I truly became
and that's another thing. That's another thing. I feel like, well, I don't feel like I know I'm going to be more of an adult, you know, because, you know, I was an hour away. I was in college. So I would call my parents, be like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? That's not going to be this. It's not going to be like that. It's time for me to grow up even more. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. And just from, you know, me and you talking, regardless of this makeup thing, just seeing people that have that has moved from, you know, the other side of the world to LA and just see how they've changed, good or bad. I'm just like, okay, I literally take my notes. I'm just like, okay, Kiahh. And this is, I'm always, you know, I'm always praying. These are things I pray for. I ask the Lord I want to remain humble. I want to remain focused on, you know, what I want to do. I don't want to get distracted. I just ask the Lord to just really keep me, you know, grounded in what I want to do. And I feel like I could have moved to LA a long time ago, but I would have been a hot ass mess. This is, you know, I feel like I'm in a place where I'm so grounded now. My mind is stronger. It's more boom, boom. And then if it's not that, next time, it's okay. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm more grounded, and I feel like because back then, probably like 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be able to handle it. But I'm ready now. I'm not creating no more excuses because, you know, I will create excuses. Be like, no, I'm not. I can't do this. Can't do that. No, I can do it. I'm good.
You can. Yeah, you can. You can have the resources. I always say if I could do it and some of the people that I know, if they could do it, anybody can do it. It's all about literally staying true to yourself, being smart, trusting your gut, and thinking the best, like thinking that everything's going to come out the best, but also being prepared to handle things. And also, even when things get tough, be grateful for those moments. Because I literally, at this point, you see me, I don't panic. I don't panic.
You don't, and you literally. Anytime I panic, I call Vic because I know he gonna calm me down.
I be like,
but
because there's no reason. Like, every single hurdle or struggle that I've experienced, especially in LA, led me to something way bigger. Every time somebody blocked an opportunity, I got a bigger opportunity. Every time you know, and because I wasn't malicious, like I didn't return that malice.
baby. Because I tell people, God not gonna bless you if you evil. If you have an evil spirit, He's not gonna bless you. And sometimes He might even bless you, you know, in a moment where you're just like, oh well, shit. But then you're not going to. He gonna get your ass.
In the words of Nene Leakes,
cussing by saying your name.
In the words of Nene Leakes, you never could win where you play dirty. You never could win.
You can't. You will never. You won't. You won't. And it's a little haha moment for me. I'm just like,
you're so stupid. That could be a GIF right there. That could have been a GIF right there.
I just watch like.
But I wanna end it off on this note. I want you to, because again, you're coming from a perspective of you're coming into this now, and a lot of people are gonna get some rare insight because we don't see when people are coming in. We see them once they're here. So what advice would you give to somebody who's kind of in a place where they want to move to LA, they want to kind of follow their dreams? Like, what would you tell them?
I always tell people to, if you believe in God, have that relationship with God and just talk to Him and stuff like that. But also, you have to have a relationship with yourself. There were times where I was just, do random shit. And I'm like, KiahH, that's not you, So I had to really grow to learn. I had to learn more of myself. I had to just realize, okay, this is just what it is. And this is what you have to work with. You really have to have a strong mindset. Yes. Don't rush it. It's going to happen when it happens. You'll know when you want, like when you're going to move, you know when it's going to happen, because you are more grounded and you're more serious. You're like, okay, this is my game plan. This is what I'm going to do. You just can't be frantic about everything. You just got to be smooth, like the water, you got to be chill. So honestly, yeah, just grow to love yourself because, from what I've heard and, experienced from seeing, LA will eat you up. So you have to love yourself. You have to just know who you are truly before you, do anything. And honestly, also work hard. Don't go to LA with no bullshit. You need to work hard because a lot of people in LA, they do work hard. Although they be messy, they do work. So it's a place of work. So I'm ready to work. So yeah, just work hard and just do your shit.
Period. Well, I'm so excited for you to get here. I'm so excited to see this
I'm excited too.
journey that you're about to embark on. I'm always here if you ever need anything. Yeah. I'm going to be a phone call away, a text message away. And I can't wait for you to be back because when you're back, you'll be in person. We're going to film an episode in person. And you're going to be in a completely different space in your life. And, you're going to watch this because I remember me and Kenneth and Cameron did a video together when we first moved to LA. And it was so funny watching. I think Kenneth showed, because you be archiving shit and stuff like tea. I think he showed it to me, and it was so funny to hear yourself speak because you're gonna remember how you were in such a different place in your life.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for you to...
Even with me watching videos from college, I'm just like, KiahH.
Yeah.
That's not even you.
No.
It's like, whoa. But that was me. It just in a different time. That was a different chapter that was closed, It's because I know there's going to be a change. I'm just nervous. I'm just like, what is it going to be? Like, I'm just like, oh my God. What is it going to be? How is it going to come out? But
it's going to be great. I know how you're like one of the hardest workers I know. Like every time I see you, you're working. And that's the most important thing here. I appreciate that. But no, thank you for joining me. And,
I just want to say I am so, so proud of you. Like, just being your friend and, really growing to, we've, grown to love and know each other more. Seeing the stuff that you've been through, you never allow those things that you've gone through to be an excuse to be great. You've never allowed that. And that's the biggest thing that you've taught me. Don't allow the shit that you've been through to decide on where you're gonna be. Period.
Like bring you down
yeah, just do you and just be just be yourself, and I just appreciate you, and I'm just so happy. I've watched every episode. I love this. Like when you text me,
you be like, wait, I like that you said this, and I'm like, oh, he watched it because he's giving me details.
Yeah, I love you. Like I support you, and I'm just so proud of you. Proud of you. I'm honored to be on here on the first season. Like,
and I'm excited for you to come back because we're both gonna be in completely different places.
I know. I feel so special and honored, and I just love you.
But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in, and y'all better watch out for KingKiahh because he's about to take over, child.
Period.
Bye, y'all. Mwah.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. And remember to tune in to Talking with Vic every Friday.